China dominates our headlines, a rising global power reshaping the world order. But what if its ultimate destiny from its very beginning is already sealed in the Bible? The untold story of the Golden Dragon is about to be revealed. Every nation has a beginning, a thread woven into the grand tapestry of human history. After the devastating flood, God gave humanity a fresh start through Noah and his family. From his 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, new nations were born. Genesis chapter 10 provides the very first map of this repopulation, charting the lineage that would spread across the entire globe, planting seeds for empires far beyond the known biblical world. Among Noah's sons, Japheth's descendants are particularly crucial to our journey eastward. From him arose nations like Magog, Gomer, Tubal, and Meshech. While these names might sound ancient, scholars have long connected them to the Scythian and Mongolian peoples, nomadic tribes known for their vast migrations across the Eurasian steppes, stretching relentlessly towards the rising sun. These ancient lineages, though initially distant from the biblical heartland, were quietly laying the groundwork for the immense populations and civilizations that would eventually rise in the far corners of Asia, hinting at a future empire of colossal scale. Centuries before Christ, an extraordinary glimpse into this distant future appeared in the prophecies of Isaiah. In chapter 49, verse 12, we read, "Behold, these shall come from afar, and these from the land of Sinim." The land of Sinim is a phrase that has captivated scholars for generations. Could this be one of the earliest, most direct biblical references to ancient China or its vicinity? From Israel's perspective, this was a land so distant, so exotic, it represented the very edge of the known world, a mysterious power hinted at by divine foresight long before its global awakening. While empires like Babylon, Persia, and Rome rose and fell, dominating the biblical narrative, far to the east, a colossal power was forging its own destiny, largely unseen. Behind an impenetrable wall, ancient China developed a civilization of unparalleled scale and sophistication. The Great Wall, a monument to human ambition, was not just a defensive barrier. It was a physical manifestation of China's self-perception as the Middle Kingdom, the spiritual and geographical center of the world, needing little from outside its vast borders. The Qin and Han dynasties established a self-contained, powerful empire, rich in culture and innovation, yet distant and enigmatic to the biblical world. Was this ancient isolation merely happenstance, or a deliberate divine plan for a nation whose true significance would only be revealed in the final act of human history? For centuries, the Golden Dragon remained hidden from the explicit biblical narrative. Unlike Egypt, Assyria, or Babylon, China is not directly named in the sweeping prophecies of the Old Testament. This apparent silence has often led many to overlook its role entirely. But what if this wasn't an oversight? What if this profound quietude was not an absence, but a calculated, divine pause? God, who sees the end from the beginning, orchestrates every nation's rise and fall. Just as some players fade from the stage only to reemerge with terrifying precision in the last days, so too might this silence be the dramatic setup for China's explosive, destined entry onto the prophetic stage. The stage was being set, far from the familiar lands of Israel, for a revelation yet to come. Then, in the final, most mysterious book of the Bible, a cryptic phrase shatters this silence, pulling back the veil on China's ultimate destiny. In Revelation chapter 16, verse 12, we read that the way of the kings from the east might be prepared. This isn't a vague hint, but a direct, pivotal reference. For centuries, biblical scholars have interpreted the kings from the east as a massive confederacy of nations from East Asia, a force so immense it would require the Euphrates River itself to dry up to allow passage. And at the heart of this colossal alliance, leading the charge, is one undeniable power, the Golden Dragon, China. This was the moment the ancient land of Sinim finally took its prophesied place, no longer hidden, but revealed as a key player in the unfolding drama of the end times. Once dismissed as a sleeping giant, China has awakened with an intensity that has reshaped the global landscape. For centuries after its ancient mentions, China retreated behind its vast borders, suffering what it now calls a century of humiliation at the hands of Western powers. But no longer. From the ashes of the Opium Wars and the seismic shifts of the Cultural Revolution, a new superpower has emerged. Its economic reforms unleashed a torrent of growth, propelling it to the forefront of global influence. Today, the Golden Dragon stands as a titan of industry and innovation, its cities gleaming, its technological advancements pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Is this explosive rise merely geopolitics, or is the stage being meticulously set for a final, prophesied act? The scale of China's economic might is almost incomprehensible. It is no longer simply the world's factory, but a global financial powerhouse, wielding influence across continents. Its ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, a modern-day Silk Road, weaves a vast network of infrastructure and trade, connecting dozens of nations and extending China's reach deep into Asia, Africa, and even Europe. This economic dominance is not just about wealth, it's about unparalleled geopolitical leverage, creating dependencies and shifting alliances. From ancient trade routes to a modern economic empire, China's influence is undeniable. Could this financial might, this vast network of power, be the very way prepared for the kings of the East? Beyond economic might, the Golden Dragon has forged a military machine of unprecedented scale and sophistication. China's rapid modernization of its armed forces is nothing short of breathtaking. Its navy now boasts the largest fleet in the world. Its air force deploys advanced stealth fighters, and its missile technology rivals, and in some areas surpasses, that of any other nation. We are witnessing an aggressive expansion in cyber warfare capabilities, a domain where future conflicts may well be fought. The sheer numbers of its active personnel, coupled with cutting-edge technology and a growing global projection capability, position China as a formidable force on the world stage. An army of unprecedented scale, armed with cutting-edge technology. Is China's military modernization preparing not for regional dominance, but for a final, global conflict described in the darkest passages of prophecy? When Revelation speaks of the kings of the East, it doesn't necessarily refer to a single nation, but a colossal alliance, a confederacy of powers from the vast Asian continent. While China stands as the undeniable leader and most powerful entity within this geographical sphere, the phrase could encompass other significant East Asian nations like Korea, Japan, or even extend to South Asian powers such as India, which together would form an overwhelming force. The logistical possibility of such a massive, unified military and economic bloc mobilizing for a common purpose is now, for the first time in human history, a chilling reality. The kings of the East isn't just one nation, but a colossal alliance. Is China the undisputed head of this prophesied power bloc, whose combined might would shake the world to its very foundations? Then, there is a chilling, specific prophecy that directly links China's rise to a dramatic end-times event. Revelation chapter 16, verse 12 declares, "The sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up to prepare the way for the kings from the east." This isn't merely a symbolic drought. Modern damming projects, primarily upstream in Turkey, and the escalating impacts of climate change are already drastically diminishing the Euphrates River's flow. What was once a mighty barrier is slowly becoming a traversable path. An ancient river, a modern crisis, and a terrifying prophecy, the Euphrates must dry to pave the way for these massive eastern armies. Is this happening right before our eyes, preparing the path for the kings of the East to fulfill their ultimate role? But China's role is not solely military or economic. It carries a profound ideological dimension. Its unique blend of state capitalism and authoritarian control, with its emphasis on collective identity over individual liberty and its systematic suppression of religious freedom, stands in stark contrast to the Judeo-Christian values that historically shaped the West. This isn't just a political difference. It's a fundamental clash of worldviews. This ideological divide, growing ever wider, creates a fertile ground for conflict, a spiritual battle mirroring the physical one. Beyond armies and economies, a clash of worldviews defines the modern age. Is China's distinct ideology a key factor in its prophesied role, setting it on a collision course with the West, fueling the very conflicts foretold millennia ago? From the dreams of a pagan king, Daniel revealed the entire course of human history. But where in this divine blueprint does the golden dragon find its place? Centuries before Christ, in the opulent courts of Babylon, King Nebuchadnezzar was tormented by a dream. A colossal statue, magnificent yet terrifying, crafted from different metals, a head of gold, a chest and arms of silver, a belly and thighs of bronze, legs of iron, and feet partly of iron and partly of clay. Daniel, God's chosen prophet, alone could reveal and interpret it. He declared the head of gold was Babylon itself, followed by 3 successive empires: Medo-Persia, silver; Greece, bronze; and Rome, iron. But it was the feet, a fragile mixture of iron and clay, that foretold the final, fragmented kingdom before Christ's glorious return. A kingdom that would encompass powers far beyond the ancient Roman world. Beasts rising from the sea, representing empires past and future. Daniel saw the rise and fall of kingdoms. But did his visions include the distant, powerful dragon of the East? Not long after, Daniel himself was granted a series of even more detailed visions, revealing 4 monstrous beasts emerging from a stormy sea. A lion with eagle's wings, symbolizing Babylon. A bear raised on one side with 3 ribs in its mouth, representing Medo-Persia. A swift leopard with 4 wings and 4 heads, depicting Greece. And finally, a terrifying, powerful beast with iron teeth and 10 horns, crushing all before it, signifying the Roman Empire and its fractured successors. These visions reinforced the unwavering truth: God alone orchestrates the rise and fall of nations, guiding history towards its ultimate conclusion. Daniel's prophecies focused on the West, but could the iron and clay feat of his vision hint at a globalized final empire, where distant powers like China would finally step into their prophesied roles? While Daniel's focus was primarily on the empires directly impacting Israel in the Middle East, we must remember the limitations of ancient geographical knowledge. God's perspective, however, spans the entire globe, from all corners of the earth. The fragmented nature of the final kingdom, the mingling of iron and clay, is a profound detail. It suggests a diverse, unstable, yet immensely powerful global system, not confined to a single empire like those before it. This prophetic space beyond Rome's horizon allows for the emergence of distant, formidable powers like the Golden Dragon, ready to play their appointed part in the unfolding drama of the end times. Even amidst prophecies of global conflict, Revelation paints another picture: a vast multitude from every nation and tribe worshiping God. Could this include millions from the land of the Golden Dragon? Yes, for even as we explore the rise of nations in end times conflicts, we must never lose sight of God's ultimate redemptive heart. In Revelation chapter 7 verses 9 to 10, we are given a breathtaking vision. After this I looked, and behold, a great multitude that no one could number, from every nation, from all tribes and peoples and languages, standing before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed in white robes, with palm branches in their hands, and crying out with a loud voice, "Salvation belongs to our God who sits on the throne, and to the Lamb." This promise encompasses every corner of the earth, including the vast populations of East Asia. God's plan is for all humanity, a glimmer of hope amidst the storms of prophecy. Are we living in the very days Daniel foretold, where global powers converge, knowledge explodes, and the stage for the end is finally set? China's ascent points to an undeniable truth. Daniel himself prophesied about the very end of days, stating that many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. Daniel chapter 12, verse 4. Is there any era in human history where this rings truer than our own? Global travel is ubiquitous. Technology advances at a dizzying pace, and information floods our senses. China's unprecedented economic growth, technological leaps, and military expansion are not isolated events. They are accelerating the conditions necessary for the global conflicts described in Revelation, proving that the ancient prophecies are not static texts, but a living roadmap unfolding before our very eyes. Is China's rise a mere accident of history, or is an unseen hand guiding the golden dragon toward its ultimate prophesied destiny? The answer changes everything. Throughout Daniel's visions, one truth resonated above all. The Most High is sovereign over all kingdoms on earth and gives them to anyone he wishes. Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. Even the mightiest empires, whether ancient Babylon or the modern golden dragon, operate within the bounds of God's perfect, sovereign plan. China's emergence onto the global stage, its immense power and influence, is not random. It is part of a meticulously orchestrated divine design. Whether for judgment or for ultimate redemption, God is moving. And understanding this overarching sovereignty prepares us for the dramatic revelation prophecies that now loom larger than ever before. The final judgments are unleashed. But amidst the chaos, one particular prophecy from the 7 bowls of wrath reveals the definitive role of the golden dragon. We have traversed the ancient echoes and witnessed the dragon's modern ascent, but now we must confront the darkest, most urgent passages of biblical prophecy, the book of Revelation. Here, the final acts of humanity's story are unveiled with terrifying precision. John, exiled on Patmos, saw visions of God's ultimate wrath poured out upon an unrepentant world. These are not mere allegories but escalating judgments, a series of 7 bowls filled with divine fury, each bringing humanity closer to the very precipice of eternity. From festering sores to oceans turned to blood, each plague is global in scale, irreversible in its impact, leading to a climax that will shake the heavens and the earth. It's not just a drought, it's a divine act. The Euphrates River is drying up, and Revelation tells us why, to clear the path for the colossal armies of the kings of the East. Is this happening now? Among these terrifying judgments, the 6th bowl carries a chilling specificity directly related to our unfolding story. Revelation chapter 16 verse 12 declares, "The 6th angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up to prepare the way for the kings from the east." This is not a casual mention. It is a divinely orchestrated act, a strategic maneuver in the cosmic chess game. The mighty Euphrates, a historical barrier to armies for millennia, must dry. And what do we see today? Massive dam projects, climate change, and regional conflicts are steadily depleting the Euphrates, reducing it to a trickle in many places. The river is shrinking, and the ancient prophecy is manifesting in plain sight, preparing an undeniable path. Who are these kings of the East? Scholars point to one undeniable power, a force so vast its numbers are almost incomprehensible. Is the golden dragon about to lead the largest army in human history? With the path cleared, the central players step onto the world stage, the kings from the East. Who are these kings? The original Greek, Nimes hoi basileus apo anatolon helio asterisk, literally means the kings from the rising of the sun. This phrase historically and geographically points unequivocally to the vast regions of East Asia. And within that immense expanse, one nation stands supreme in terms of population, economic might, and military power. China, the golden dragon. Revelation chapter 9 verse 16 speaks of an army of 200 million being unleashed in the end times. For centuries, this number seemed fantastical, impossible for any nation to field. Yet, today, China alone possesses the demographic capacity and military infrastructure to potentially mobilize a force of this unimaginable scale. It's a chilling convergence of ancient prophecy and modern geopolitical reality. China is not merely a king of the East. It is the dominant power, the undisputed leader of a colossal confederacy, whose combined might would indeed shake the world. It's not just human ambition. Demonic forces like frogs are at work, subtly manipulating the world's leaders, including the kings of the East, for a final catastrophic battle. Are these unseen forces at play today? But the mobilization of these immense armies is not solely a matter of geopolitical ambition. Revelation unveils a sinister, supernatural influence at play. Verses 13 and 14 describe 3 impure spirits that looked like frogs, emerging from the mouths of the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet. These are demonic forces, actively deceiving and manipulating the kings of the entire world, including the kings of the East, to gather them for battle. Their whispers fuel anti-God sentiment, stir up nationalist fervor, and orchestrate the global stage for the ultimate confrontation. This spiritual warfare, though unseen, is the true engine driving the world's leaders toward their devastating destiny. Every path, every army, every deception leads to one terrifying destination: Armageddon. The kings of the East are specifically summoned for this final, earth-shattering confrontation. Will China lead the charge? The destination for these manipulated kings and their armies is explicitly named Armageddon. The text states these demonic spirits go out to the kings of the whole world to gather them for the battle on the great day of God Almighty. Armageddon, or Har Megiddo, is an ancient valley in Israel, a historical battleground. But in prophecy, it becomes the symbolic and literal convergence point for all the world's forces. This is not just a Dob battle. It is the Dob battle, the final climactic showdown where humanity, deceived and emboldened by demonic powers, will stand united against the returning Christ. The kings of the East, led by the golden dragon, are not mere bystanders. They are central figures, specifically gathered for this earth-shattering confrontation. Amidst these terrifying prophecies, a divine warning cuts through the noise. Behold, I come like a thief. The unfolding destiny of the golden dragon is a sign for us all. Are you ready? Yet, amidst this chilling depiction of global conflict and demonic deception, a profound warning is embedded in Revelation chapter 16, verse 15. Behold, I come like a thief. Blessed is he who stays awake and keeps his clothes on, so that he will not walk around naked and be exposed. This is a direct message to us, the readers, living in a time when these prophecies are visibly unfolding. The suddenness of Christ's return demands vigilance, spiritual readiness, and an unwavering commitment to our faith. The dramatic rise of the golden dragon and the drying of the Euphrates are not just headlines. They are signposts on the prophetic roadmap, urging us to prepare. Are you watching? Are you ready for what is to come? It's not just a geopolitical power play. The golden dragon is entwined with the ultimate enemy, the beast itself. This unholy alliance shapes the destiny of the kings of the East, leading them to Armageddon. For the biblical narrative reveals that the kings of the East are not merely acting on their own ambition, but are swayed by unseen forces. Revelation chapter 12 speaks of the ancient dragon, Satan himself, empowering earthly kingdoms. And Revelation chapter 13 describes the rise of the beast, the Antichrist, a global political power to whom the dragon gives his authority. These spiritual and political powers, a dark trinity, will conspire to gather the nations for the final conflict. This isn't just about human ambition. It's a global, anti-God agenda, masterminded from the spiritual realm, manifesting in the halls of power and the movements of armies. Is the golden dragon part of a grander, more terrifying alliance? The ancient prophecy of Gog and Magog unveils a northern coalition, but do the kings of the East join this massive force, or stand as a separate, equally devastating power? We've already explored Ezekiel's chilling prophecy of Gog and Magog in chapter 38 and 39, describing a colossal northern alliance, often interpreted as Russia, Iran, Turkey, and other surrounding nations, that will descend upon Israel in the last days. But how do the kings of the East, potentially led by China, fit into this terrifying picture? Are they a distinct, massive wave of attack, arriving from the far side of a dried Euphrates? Or do they perhaps join forces with GOG, forming an even more overwhelming, two-front global alliance converging on the Holy Land? The scriptures suggest a complex, multifaceted assault, painting a more complete and far more frightening picture of the final war. 200 million soldiers. A number once thought impossible, now a chilling reality. Only one nation on earth possesses the capacity to field such a force. Is the golden dragon preparing this prophesied army? In Revelation chapter 9, verse 16, a single staggering detail rips through the veil of prophecy. The number of the mounted troops was twice 10,000 times 10,000. I heard their number. That's 200 million. For centuries, this number seemed hyperbole, an impossible army that no nation could ever field. But today, with China's colossal population and its advanced military training capabilities, this number is no longer theoretical. It is a chilling, tangible possibility. The sheer scale of such a force, historically unprecedented until modern times, points overwhelmingly to the East, with China as the most probable nation capable of mobilizing such an immense military machine. This isn't just a large army. It is a human tide, a testament to the immense destructive power prophesied for the end times. Every army, every nation, every prophecy points to one city, Jerusalem. Why would the kings of the East march thousands of miles to this ancient land? The Bible reveals the terrifying reason. All these converging forces, whether from the north or the east, share a common, ultimate strategic objective, Jerusalem. The holy city, the spiritual heart of God's people, becomes the epicenter of this final global conflict. The kings of the East, after crossing the dried Euphrates, will not simply wander aimlessly. They will be drawn by demonic influence and geopolitical ambition towards this ancient land, to make war against God's chosen people, Israel, and ultimately against the returning Christ. This isn't just a battle for territory, it's a spiritual war, with Jerusalem as its ultimate blood-soaked prize. Beyond armies, a spirit of global control and idolatry defines the end times, the spirit of Babylon. Does China's economic and political system embody elements of this prophesied final empire? Revelation also speaks of Mystery Babylon, not necessarily a literal city, but a pervasive global system characterized by immense economic power, spiritual idolatry, worship of self, state, or material wealth, and the persecution of believers. China's unique blend of state capitalism, authoritarian control, and its tight grip over information and religious freedom presents a striking alignment with elements of this prophetic archetype. Its economic dominance and ambition for global influence, coupled with its secular, often anti-religious ideology, could very well contribute to, or embody, the spirit of Babylon that seeks to control, deceive, and ultimately oppose God in the last days. The kings of the East are mobilizing, the Euphrates is drying, and global tensions are escalating. What does China's prophetic destiny mean for your life today? It's a call to wake up. These prophecies are not merely historical curiosities or distant future events. They are unfolding right now, before our very eyes. China's dramatic rise, the shifting global alliances, the environmental changes affecting ancient rivers, these are not random occurrences. They are signs, urgent indicators that we are living in the biblical final hour. So what does this mean for you, for your faith, for your spiritual readiness? It is a call to watch, to pray, and to understand the times, for the stage is being set, and every prophecy will be fulfilled. The world's armies, led by the kings of the East, gather in one ancient valley. They believe they are fighting for global dominance. But their true enemy is about to be revealed. The stage is set. The earth groans under the weight of an unprecedented military mobilization. From every corner of the globe, nations heed the demonic call, their forces converging upon a single ancient battleground. the Valley of Megiddo in Israel. Tanks rumble, aircraft darken the sky, and millions of soldiers, including the immense legions of the Golden Dragon and its eastern allies, pour into the strategic plains. They come with one unified, defiant purpose: to make war against the Lamb, to challenge the very return of Christ. This is not merely a clash of human ambition. It is the ultimate, climactic rebellion against the Most High, a final, terrifying assembly before the King of Kings. Just as the armies clash, the heavens tear open. The King of Kings returns, not as a lamb, but as a warrior. His arrival will shatter the might of the Golden Dragon and every earthly empire. Suddenly, the sky splits open, not with thunder, but with an indescribable glory. From the highest heavens, Jesus Christ descends, not as the meek Lamb of God, but as the rider on a white horse, his eyes like blazing fire, his robe dipped in blood, and on his thigh a name written: King of Kings and Lord of Lords. With him the armies of heaven, robed in white, follow. This is the moment history has anticipated, the sudden, overwhelming intervention that halts all earthly conflict. The nations, caught in their futile war games, are paralyzed by the blinding light of His Majesty. Their weapons fall silent, their engines stall, their might rendered utterly impotent. No earthly army, no matter how vast, can stand against the King of Kings. In a single devastating moment, the Golden Dragon and its allies are utterly consumed. This is the end for those who defy God. The confrontation is swift, absolute, and terrifying in its divine precision. No human hand is needed, no sword drawn by man. From Christ's mouth proceeds a sharp sword, the very word of God, which strikes down the nations. The armies of the world, including the colossal forces of the kings of the East, are utterly annihilated. Their bodies, once bristling with weapons and defiant pride, become fodder for the birds of the air, scattered across the plains of Armageddon. The might of the Golden Dragon, the ambitions of every earthly empire, are crushed in an instant, proving beyond all doubt that God alone is sovereign. This is the finality of divine judgment, a powerful, unmistakable declaration of God's supremacy over all creation. The architects of the final rebellion face their swift, eternal judgment. The beast and the false prophet are cast into the lake of fire. But what of the kings of the East? While the armies are utterly consumed, the masterminds of this rebellion receive their immediate, eternal fate. The beast, the Antichrist, and the false prophet, his deceptive mouthpiece, are captured. They are thrown alive into the fiery lake of burning sulfur, a terrifying, irreversible doom. This final act of justice removes the spiritual and political orchestrators of humanity's rebellion. The ultimate deceiver is chained, and for 1,000 years the earth will finally know true peace. This is the promise that follows the defeat of the Golden Dragon. With the beast and false prophet judged, the ultimate source of deception is also dealt with. Satan himself is seized, bound with a great chain, and cast into the abyss, sealed away for 1,000 years. His influence, his lies, his incitement to rebellion are silenced. For the first time in human history, the earth knows genuine peace, unmarred by demonic influence, under the direct, righteous reign of Christ. After the dust settles and the kings of the East are defeated, a new world emerges under Christ's reign. But what becomes of the nations, including the land of the Golden Dragon, in this transformed future? The battle is over. The rebellion is crushed. The earth itself is cleansed, preparing for a new era. Christ establishes his glorious millennial kingdom, ruling from Jerusalem with a rod of iron. Justice and truth will prevail. While the armies of the kings of the East were annihilated in their rebellion, the story of the asterisk peoples of the East is not yet fully written. A world, transformed under divine rule, offers a new order. But what role, if any, will the remnants of the Golden Dragon's lands play in this unprecedented era of peace and righteousness? After Armageddon, a final judgment awaits the nations. How will the golden dragon and its people fare when Christ himself judges their actions? The answer holds a surprising twist, for the Bible reveals that after the cataclysmic battle, Christ will establish his glorious reign on earth. During this 1,000-year period, a profound judgment will unfold. The judgment of the nations, often called the sheep and goats judgment. Nations will be separated based on how they treated Christ's brethren, his chosen people, Israel, and his faithful followers, during the tumultuous tribulation. Every nation, every people, including those from the east who marched against Jerusalem, will face accountability. Their deeds, their allegiances, their very heart toward God's people will be laid bare before the King of Kings. This is a profound reckoning, where justice will finally flow like a river and truth like an ever-flowing stream. Even after judgment, God's heart of redemption remains open. Ancient prophets spoke of nations once hostile, now turning to worship. Could the golden dragon, after its prophesied role, find a place in this renewed world? For God's plan extends beyond mere judgment. It encompasses ultimate restoration. The prophet Isaiah, centuries ago, peered into this future, declaring, "In that day there will be a highway from Egypt to Assyria. The Egyptians and Assyrians will worship together. In that day Israel will be a third, along with Egypt and Assyria, a blessing on the earth." This breathtaking vision reveals nations once locked in conflict, nations that opposed God's people, now united in worship. It suggests a profound transformation, a spiritual awakening that will sweep across the globe during Christ's millennial reign. This principle extends to all nations, implying a future opportunity for spiritual transformation for even the most distant peoples, those from the land of the golden dragon, who will have seen the glory of the Lord. In the ultimate vision of eternity, the New Jerusalem descends, and the kings of the earth bring their glory into it. Does this mean China, through its redeemed, will one day contribute to the eternal city? Revelation chapter 21 paints a breathtaking picture of the New Jerusalem, a city of unimaginable splendor, descending from heaven. This is humanity's eternal home, where God dwells among his people. And in this glorious city, we are told, the nations will walk by its light, and the kings of the earth will bring their splendor into it. This means that the redeemed from every nation, tribe, and tongue will enter and contribute to the eternal glory. It's a testament to God's universal love, a promise that even the people from the land of the golden dragon, through their redeemed, will find their place in the eternal city, bringing their unique splendor into God's everlasting kingdom. From the ancient land of Sinim to the kings of the east, China's story and prophecy is profound. But even amidst judgment, God's grace offers a final, powerful twist, redemption for the golden dragon. While nations and empires may rise and fall facing the consequences of their defiance, God's ultimate desire is always for individual repentance and salvation. No matter how significant a nation's role in end-times prophecy, the door of grace remains open for its people. Just as Persia, once a foe, became a redeemer, and then a prophetic enemy, only to hold a hidden promise of restoration, so too does the narrative of the golden dragon carry this profound, hopeful twist. Its story, though marked by immense power and potential conflict, ultimately points to the boundless mercy of God for all who turn to him. From the earliest whispers in Genesis through the ancient, distant land of Sinim, to the awakening of the kings of the East in Revelation, the story of the golden dragon has been an undeniable, intricate thread woven into God's grand tapestry of prophecy. We've journeyed from its subtle, almost hidden origins to its dramatic rise as a global superpower and its climactic prophesied role at Armageddon. We saw the profound judgment it faces, yet also the astonishing promise of redemption for its people. China's journey through sacred history is almost complete, meticulously orchestrated by an unseen hand. Are you watching? We are living in times where prophecies unfold not in ancient scrolls alone, but in today's headlines. The Euphrates is drying, military powers are rising, and the world is shifting at an unprecedented pace. Do you see the golden dragon fulfilling its prophetic role today, right before our eyes? Do you recognize these signs in China's current actions and global influence? Understanding these times is more urgent than ever. Where do you stand in this unfolding story? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. Your insights fuel this journey of discovery. And if you'd like us to keep exploring how current events powerfully connect with biblical prophecy, give this video a thumbs up and share it. This lets us know we should continue uncovering more prophecies unfolding right before our eyes. But the journey doesn't end here. There are still deeper mysteries to unravel, crucial truths for these final days. Ready to dive even deeper into end times prophecy? Click right now on the video you see on your screen, The Mark of the Beast, Daniel's Final Warnings. Daniel left us the signs we need to understand what's coming next. In these times, understanding is not just essential, it is a lifeline. Blessings.